Hey world, it's being will come back to the video. I want to come back to this video because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I think it's important, family, that, and if you haven't liked, share, and subscribe, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and put the notification button so you know when I'm dropping another video. I can tell you that a lot of family members in the garden have not been getting notifications. It's not an accident. You dig? I mean, when you talk about things like the coronavirus being a hoax, when you talk about, the moon landing being a hoax, when you talk about global warming being a hoax, they don't want to hear that because because remember, we're in the age of Aquarius, which is, the enlightening period when it comes to where we are, astrologically. I mean, this is, the rinsing out of everything that's deceptive coming to the light. That shit that was happening in the dark is coming to the light. But it's important that they continue to brainwash, because the more they brainwash, the more successful they will be in having a higher number of people that remain asleep. You dig? I mean, think about it. How many family members out there even know what a recession is? You hear about them talking about we're in a recession. You hear about them talking about we have a $30 trillion deficit. You hear about them talking about, inflation and raising interest rates. But what does that mean in layman's terms? First of all, family, what is a recession? A recession is, and if you don't know what the GDP is, the GDP is the gross domestic product. That's all the money made from goods and services per quarter that produced in one country per quarter or per year. Now, a recession is if you have a negative output two consecutive quarters. Let's give you an example. In July or in June, the GDP was negative 1.65. That ain't good. Okay? And remember, GDP is calculated using just the goods and services sold, right? It's not their immediate goods and services. What immediate goods and services are those goods and services used to produce the final product that is sold. So, like I said, if you have a car company, well, the GDP is only going to calculate the number of cars you sell. It's not going to calculate the amount of money used to produce those cars, but only the number of cars that are sold. You dig? But if you are an auto parts company, then those auto parts that are sold throughout the year to other people, that's considered part of the GDP. And so in July or in June, it was negative 1.65. July, it was negative 0.999 or something like that, meaning that's 2 consecutive quarters. What is a quarter? A quarter is 3 months, right? And so for the last 6 months, the GDP in this country has been negative. That's a recession, okay? And once it's a recession, then it can really delve into a depression if things are not done to correct it. Now, you may say, what are some of the things that we can do to correct it? Well, what you can't do is raise taxes on companies or raise taxes on those that are producing jobs. Because if you're raising taxes, then basically you're going to raise unemployment. Because if I own a company and the government is raising my taxes, my corporate taxes, then now I can't pay all my employees, so I got to let people go. Why would anybody do that? See, that's why it's a problem that we allow 538 people to dictate and determine where the money goes. Remember, family, property taxes, sales taxes, anything that you buy is taxed. Property taxes, marginal tax rate that you have to pay every year. All these taxes, all this money, we're talking over 300 million people, family, paying taxes. And none of us know where the money's going. All we know is that we have 538 people that meet every now and then to determine where our money is going. Think about this for a minute. Who does that? What family will allow someone else to dictate how they spend their money? what family will allow someone else to come in and tell them your child needs to have a vaccine or you need to take this type of medicine? Who does that? So why will we as a country allow 538 people to dictate where the money's going when we know they're not doing it or using it to our best interest? Give you a prime example. Right now, Congress they in the midst of trying to decide whether or not they want to help the veterans that was in Afghanistan and Iraq that was exposed to all these poisons that's causing cancers. Now, of course, the Democrats want to, pass a bill to financially accommodate all of these soldiers or these veterans that were affected, right? The Republicans said no. Now, in the view of public opinion, you might say, come on, Republicans, why would y'all guys veto that? Why would you guys not vote for making sure the veterans are taken care of, even though they fought for this country? Well, what they don't tell you is that there's $450 billion that the Democrats want to use, but they only want to designate a small amount to the veterans. That's game, family. That's game. Nor the Republicans or the Democrats care about the veterans or about the people. Because if they did, this wouldn't even be an issue. If they did, remember, the legislative branch makes laws. It's like they're the head of household. If you're the head of household, right, then every month when the money comes in, you making sure that money is dispersed to take care of liabilities and making sure you save to build assets. That's how you build your family, right? Then on a macro scale, why isn't 300 million people telling Congress, hold up, we don't want our money spent that way? But people are protesting about abortion rights, protesting about gun rights. Are you serious right now? No. We should be saying, hey, we need to start deciding where the money goes. For the government to tell you we have $30 trillion in debt and no one question it, even though everybody in America has to pay taxes. Where's the money going, family? You dig? And believe me, we are in a recession. And if you just joined my video, remember, a recession is when there's a negative GDP for 2 consecutive quarters. Have you watched the tele-lie? Have they said anything about a recession? No. But they did say they're going to raise taxes. During a recession? Why inflation is way up here? You know what I'm saying, family? Real news versus fake news. And don't ever think that your vote counts. Because if you don't personally know the person you're voting for, who are you voting for? Remember, these people can be in office just 6 years and be, set for the rest of their lives. Me as a teacher, I have to teach about 20, 25, 30 years before I can get a pension. What? And like I say, no one is fighting for teachers. No one is fighting for police officers. No one is fighting for firefighters. Why did the nurses get paid so much money, but firefighters, teachers, and police officers don't? Civil servants. You know why? Because y'all don't care. But guess what? Every one of you guys benefit from it. Every time you call 911. In fact, the only reason I'm somewhat, emotional about that because I used to be a firefighter paramedic. I used to be a CPS worker. You dig? I've been teaching for 20 years. And those professions which are needed. Family, they told you guys we was essential workers, but we can't be essentially paid. Come on, family, step up, man. Contact these 538 people and let's get some real people there, because I promise you, in this existence, it's not happening. You dig? In the meantime, between time, many more times, sorry to bring you joy. And being Willie is 5,000. Big up, legend. And the coach going to get at you soon. And I'm out.